What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell by today's title, we're going to be talking about the Aaron Gordon trade to my Denver Nuggets that happened just a few hours ago. I'm super pumped for this trade. I was actually kind of curious what the Nuggets were going to do at the trade deadline, and there was even part of me that felt like we weren't going to do anything. So I was super excited to see us land a big name like Aaron Gordon. And all it took was Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and a first-round pick to get Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark, I believe is his name. I don't know if he will stay on the team or not. We have a habit of trading for like a key guy and then cutting the other guys that we get in trades. So he probably won't be on the team after this week. Maybe he will, I don't know. But the Aaron Gordon part is awesome. Obviously, it sucks that we have to lose a guy like Gary Harris. He's been a Nugget for 7 years, and he's definitely a fan favorite. I feel kind of the same way I did when we released Phillip Lindsay, when the Broncos released Phillip Lindsay, just because both of those guys are fan favorites, and you never want to see those guys go. But at the same time, Gary Harris has only played in 19 games this year. I think he's missed like 22 or something like that. He hasn't been healthy over the last few years, and so it just didn't make sense for us to keep him on the bench sitting there, not doing anything. Obviously, I do hope that he makes a name for himself, a bigger name for himself down there in Orlando. I hope he gets healthy and actually can play a key role for them. But it was a good business strategy to trade him, but it definitely hurts a little bit as a fan who's seen him play for the last 7 years. The other guy that we had to let go was RJ Hampton, and I was almost more upset that we had to trade Hampton than I was about Gary, strictly because I think Hampton's ceiling is super high. So far this year, he averages 9.3 minutes per game, so nothing crazy. He averages, I think, about 2 or 3 points, so it's not like we're losing a key guy necessarily with that, but it just sucks knowing that he has that high ceiling and he's going to go dominate in Orlando. And we have our good guards as well, but again, RJ Hampton, he's the guy that I've followed since he was in high school, so it just sucks to see him leave, but I hope he does great things in Orlando as well. Hopefully one day he'll make an all-star team, and honestly, I think he's one of the best guards on that Orlando team right now, in my opinion. Obviously, they do have Terrence Ross, who I guess he's technically a small forward, but they also have Cole Anthony, but I hope he does great things down there in Orlando. Looking at this team now, I think we went from first or second round exits to honestly title contenders, if I'm being completely honest, because now we have Jamal Murray starting, Will Barton starting, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3 or the 4, Aaron Gordon at the 3 or the 4, and then you have Nikola Jokic, and then off the bench you have Monte Morris, who's one of the best ball handlers in the league. He has one of the best turnover to assist ratios in the NBA. You have Javale McGee at the center. You have PJ Dozier, who's been playing well. I mean, the team just got so much better today. And again, it sucks that we had to lose Gary Harris and RJ Hampton, but let me just read some stats for you guys, and you'll understand why this was actually a really good trade. So far this year, Aaron Gordon is averaging 14.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, as well as 4 assists a game. Gary is only averaging 9 points a game. I think it's 2 rebounds a game and 1 assist per game. So statistically speaking, Aaron Gordon definitely helps us more than Gary Harris did. However, defense scares me just a little bit because both MPJ and Aaron Gordon aren't like superstar defenders, and one of them is going to have to play the 3 spot. So I'm kind of nervous about that wing defense because Gary was our best wing defender after we lost Torrey Craig in the offseason. So someone else is going to have to step up off the bench to actually guard people because I'm kind of nervous about that. But if we can make up for it offensively, then the trade is still good. I think the trade is good regardless, but that's my biggest issue with this, is just that I worry about defense for us. The second trade I want to talk about for the Denver Nuggets is the Javale McGee trade. So we're getting McGee back after several years away. And all it took was Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 second-round picks. And if you guys have followed the Nuggets over this season, you know that Isaiah Hartenstein is not the best backup center for Jokic. Even in my MVP video, I mentioned that the Nuggets struggle when Jokic is off the floor, and part of that is because we don't have a bona fide backup center. So this is actually a really great trade for us. If you guys watched the playoffs last year with the Lakers run, Javale McGee and Dwight Howard were a big part of that with the 1-2 punch of centers coming off the bench. So I'm super excited to see what that dynamic will look like with Jokic and Javale McGee. And the other thing about that too is we can even play them side by side if we really want to, especially because Jokic is such a threat with a pick and pop. He can go play the 4 while JaVale plays the 5, so we'll have better rim protection. So I'm super excited to see that happen because I felt like when we got Isaiah Hartenstein, it was almost like we replaced Mason Plumlee with a younger version of Mason Plumlee. And I feel like just JaVale McGee is just going to be a much better player for us than Isaiah Hartenstein was. Obviously, I hope he does well with the Cavs. I'm not going to ever wish bad on a guy that we trade or anything like that, so I hope he does well, but I also love that trade. And currently the Nuggets are 26-18 in the 5th spot in the West, and they're just 2.5 games back from the 3 seed. We're gonna need to really ramp it up. We lost to the Raptors just the other night, and it was like awful. We got blown out by like 24. That can't happen anymore. We have to actually play well, and especially when you add a guy like Aaron Gordon. Now you have a big 4. Like, we have to perform. But I definitely think that this trade makes us title contenders. I think we looked like first-round exits and second-round exits earlier in the year, and now with this addition of Aaron Gordon and Javale McGee, it bumps us up to at least finals bound. I'm not going to say that we're going to win the finals necessarily, because I do think that it's going to be a tough matchup with the Nets, and I don't really see the Nets losing the East. I think they're going to make it out the East like pretty easily. I mean, you have KD, Kyrie, Blake Griffin, James Harden. Like, who's beating that? You know what I mean, in the East. But I do think that we are in serious contention for the finals now, and especially when you look at, we were able to beat the Clippers last year with a fraction of the team we have now. Like, we are a much better team after these trades than we were last year. So it has me super excited for the second half of the year to see what we're going to do. Finally got Jokic some help, because he's having an MVP season. In my opinion, he's the MVP. And if you want to understand why I think he's the MVP, go check out my video about that. He's just statistically, even with the eye test, if you want to use that, he's the MVP. And I just don't want us to waste that. And so I love these trades. Hopefully we can sign Aaron Gordon back long term and keep these guys together for a few more years, because this is kind of our window to win rings. I mean, Jamal Murray he started becoming more consistent recently. I think he can really become a superstar for these next couple years. Jokic is a superstar. Aaron Gordon can ramp it up with the right talent around him. MPJ has the potential to be that next KD, so I'm really looking forward to this next half of the season. But let me know what you guys thought of the trade deadline today, what teams got better, what teams got worse, and also let me know what team you're most excited to watch for the second half of the year. Obviously, for me, I'm biased. The Nuggets are super exciting as of now. Just on paper, they look unstoppable. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.